Welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. Today we're going to be reviewing the Costco or Kirkland microfiber towels.
Lil guns down, Lil guns down, Lil guns down in the ground. Lil guns down, boy, or I will lay you down. Say your last prayer, and don't look back here no more. The Lord can't help you, you've gone too far for sure. I'm on the highway, hitting county loud, singing all the time.
So the Kirkland Plush microfiber towel, guys. So first thing to say about this, generally you buy them in packs of 36 and the price for those packs can vary, okay? Last time I picked up a pack I paid about 16 quid for it delivered, but when I looked this time the cheapest I could find on eBay, and I'll put all the links where you could buy it, was about £20 delivered. So roughly your cost per towel, depending on where you get it from, is going to be around 35, maybe up to 55p per towel. So the first thing about this microfiber is it is very, very cheap, okay, for the price. You're going to struggle to buy microfiber towels that are cheaper than this. So the next thing is the size, guys. These towels are approximately 16 by 16 inch square. The format of the microfiber, it's an 80-20 blend, so it's 80% polyester and 20% polyamide, roughly, okay? And the polyester is giving it the structure, it's the harder of the two components, and the polyamide is giving it the softness and the absorbency. The next thing to talk about is the format of the construction, okay? So on one side of the microfiber you have a plushed closed loop format, which is probably about 4 or 5 mil long, okay? So in the textile industry, if a microfiber towel has a nap height of more than 2 to 3 mil, it's considered plush. So one side of this towel definitely falls into that criterion. I think they describe it as plush on the packet, I think. I'm not actually sure because I haven't got the packet. The other side of the towel is just a conventional kind of terry cloth format. It's a lot shorter and there isn't that plush nap on there, okay? So it's kind of beneficial sometimes with a towel to have two different formats because it gives you two different purposes. With this you've got one plush side, and the plusher is the more kind of product you're going to absorb, and this is plush enough that it will be able to handle kind of that product removal thing, in particular kind of taking off polishes and waxes. You know, there's enough fibre and material on there to give you a bit more absorbency. If you're using a thin kind of terry cloth, a very low density terry cloth, after almost one swipe of the microfiber over a kind of area with polish on it, then the entire surface is kind of saturated. So that's why generally people are using plusher formats of microfiber for product removal. These microfiber towels really split opinion, guys. You know, one of the most common question that gets asked out there on forums and Facebook groups is, you know, people looking for microfiber recommendations. And this gets recommended a hell of a lot of times. And it splits opinion. I always see sort of people that recommend them and really rate them and use them, and that's through to kind of hobbyist detailers and professional detailers. I know tons of professional detailers that use this product and rate it. On the other side, I know a lot of professional detailers that don't rate this product and would advise you quite strongly against using it. And I suppose the purpose of this video is to kind of give my opinion on it, because it's kind of a question that gets asked a lot, so it's worth the channel kind of sticking its big hooter in, as we always do, and giving our opinion on it. And as always, I think sometimes when there's extreme views on either side, the reality of what it's all about can be somewhere in the middle. It sounds like a bit of a political answer, but I think that's where I'm going with this. Let's talk about the pros and cons then, guys. So let's start with the pros. The first pro with this towel, and it is the obvious one, and it's an important one, is the price. Okay, that price at, what did I say, 35 to 55p, depending on what you end up paying for it, and I'll put in the description some options of where you can go and buy it. That price is fantastic for a microfiber cloth, and the fact you buy it in a pack of 36 means you can kind of arm yourself with a large amount of fresh microfiber to be used at not a lot of money. And that is the #1 reason I believe that these microfiber cloths are popular, and it's a really strong reason. You don't have to sell something, do you? Everyone gets, when something's cheap, people go and buy it. So that's one of the foundation reasons why Kirkland Costco Microfiber is heavily used. The second thing that's a real positive is the fact that this towel does have that plush side to it, okay, which gives you the capability to actually kind of mop up products a bit more effectively than a sort of shallow, low GSM terry cloth that's going to get saturated very quickly. So this doesn't fail as a product removal cloth because it isn't plush enough. It just about works at that. There are cloths obviously that are a lot denser, a lot softer, a lot more plush that will hold more product, and I believe are softer and safer on your paintwork. But this still is able to mop up those products and not get saturated too quickly. And I've used it for that, okay, and it works for that. So that's a second big positive, that one side of the towel is definitely nice and plush. The third positive is that you do have two different sides. So the short terry cloth side, you know, is ideal or more suited to things that you want to kind of rub a bit harder on, like a dashboard or something that you're cleaning, okay, where you don't really want to be pulling at all those fibres on the plusher side. So it just gives you a little bit of versatility and two different options. And you will after you've used these for a while, look for a certain side when you're doing a certain job. At least I do. So I see that as a positive. The last real positive, guys, and it ties back in with the fact that this product is really good value for money, or it's cheap, is that a lot of cleaning jobs in detailing are what I kind of call destructive cleaning, where you look at it and you think, this is going to trash my microfiber. You know, the classic example is engine bays, or anywhere where there's a big build-up of real heavy dirt that's going to get embedded into this microfiber, and that dirt might have grease in it. You'll know the type of jobs, and you'll know that if you use a microfiber on it, it's more likely than not to be kind of junk after that, or put aside for future heavy cleaning or destructive cleaning jobs, okay? So it ties in with the first point, but the fact they're so cheap makes it a sort of product that you're not afraid to really kind of go in there and use, and if need be, throw it away at 35p after you've used it. I tend not to unless I really blacken them with grease. Okay guys, some of the cons. All of these Kirkland microfibers come with a stitched on label that you need to tear off. It's just a little bit of a pain in the gluteus, because when you tear them off you can sometimes damage the label. You're not going to sit there doing the old surgical removal, you're just going to rip them off because time's not on your side. So it's just not ideal. It'd be better if they didn't have the label, but these are general purpose microfiber that are probably used outside of automotive detailing as well. So it's just part and parcel of the product and how it comes, unfortunately. The second con for me is that these towels tend to stiffen up quite quickly after a couple of wash cycles, and the premium microfiber that I've got, and I've got a ton of it, you know, we've done premium microfiber quite heavily on this channel with the buffing cloth, the best buffing cloth video, little plug there. And some of those microfiber products that are real high quality still feel the same because I've been washing them carefully after sort of like 10-20 wash cycles, some of them. Whereas these, after 2 or 3 wash cycles, I start to notice they stiffen up, and I don't like that. And it makes me wonder, you know, the 80-20, 70-30, 75-25, it's usually only a guideline. It just makes me wonder if the polyester content on this is a little bit higher than 80%, but I don't know, I'm guessing there. The third negative, and it's a format negative rather than a product specific negative, the closed loop microfiber has a tendency to get dirt stuck in it, and the dirt, you can see it in there, it gets trapped in the microfiber, okay? This feels rough on your hand because it's closed loop. It will snag on your kind of, on the rough skin on your fingers because of those loops. But in the same way, any little kind of bits of grit and dirt get stuck in these cloths, and a lot of times you will notice if you use them, when they come out of the wash, there will be little dots in them, and I've seen people even sort of after they've washed all their microfiber, going through and spending time picking out all the bits of dirt. And like, you know, I like my detailing, but I'm never going to be doing that, because at 35p a towel, if I see it's got bits in it, it gets relegated to the engine bay, you know, microfiber duties and that sort of stuff. You shouldn't, you know, no one's got time to pick out bits of dirt out of cloths. Again, it's not specifically this towel. You know, other towels that are closed loop on one side like this will do that as well, but I really don't like that. The open pile or split pile microfiber releases the dirt better in the wash for me. Okay guys, the last thing, how safe are these on paintwork, okay? Generally, I find that these cloths, if you're using them on good quality, hard OEM paintwork, you will really struggle to see any evidence of them scratching that paintwork, okay? And the condition of the microfiber cloth will play a part in that. If they're really old and brittle, they'll be more likely to put scratches in that you're going to be able to detect. But also a really important characteristic is how hard that clear coat is, because you've got a range. So on softer clear coats, with more older brittle towels, then I think you get to a point where there is a risk of actually putting in scratches that you can find on your clear coat, okay? And I'm talking from personal experience of what I think about them, okay? So I'm not just making that up. I've been using these for a long time. But generally, I think they're safe. On really soft clear coat, and what the test I did here to kind of just kind of prove my thoughts on them, and then this is only my thoughts as well, guys, is that on really soft materials like the A-pillar, where it's really easy to inflict scratches, okay, that you can, the difference between the Kirkland microfiber and a higher quality Plush 70/30 kind of Korean buffing cloth, and I was using the CarPro Boa 350s to pair it up against here. Those softer, higher quality microfibers are less likely to put in micro scratches in paintwork, and you know, in the softer paintwork where you can really see it. And I'll just overlay shots of what I was able to see with a quick test of rubbing the cloth up and down, a clean cloth, both of them about the same age, up and down on very soft A-pillars that are prone to showing those marrings. And the Kirkland microfiber put in micro scratches that were really easy to see. The Boa, I don't think it put in any that I could see. If I carry on rubbing with this for about sort of a minute, I would expect, even with the Boa, for it to be able to put in micro scratches, because that A-pillar is so soft. But I tried to be consistent, did 10 seconds with each, and I could see a whole load of scratches with the Costco, and the Boa, the softer 70/30, more absorbent Plush blend, didn't put any scratches on it. Now, I've done kind of tests like this before with Kirkland microfiber, and I've done it on paintwork, I've done it on A-pillars, I've done it on CDs, done lots of testing with it, and I came to the conclusion that generally you can use this Kirkland microfiber on most types of paintwork, but I've seen enough to know that there's a slightly more increased ability for this cloth to potentially mar paintwork. And for that reason, I tend to use these cloths for general purpose destructive cleaning, okay? I don't use them on glass because I find that, again, especially with the Plush side, the friction you have when you're cleaning glass is quite a lot, and it will pull the fibres out and leave it on top of the glass. And I did a quick buff on a bit of glass just to show you kind of what I mean there. But I find myself using these for kind of door shuts, for the drainage rundown areas on the tailgate, and then doing the engine bay, anything where it's going to get really dirty. Okay guys, thank you very much for tuning in on this review of the Costco microfiber. As always, I'd like to know your opinions on this. Do you feel this product is kind of paintwork safe? Do you use it on paintwork? Or do you just keep it for kind of general purpose cleaning, more like myself? Again, with this video, I think there's going to be a lot of people that do use this on paintwork and will have the opinion that it's safe. And the key point I want to get across is I'm not fully disagreeing that it can't be used on clear coat, but for me, I've proved enough times that there is perhaps a slight risk there, and that risk comes more into play with the softer the clear coat or the surface that you're using them on. And it's for that reason that I go for the higher quality kind of open pile Korean formats to use on my paintwork. I just prefer using them as well. But I still am kind of happy to have this stuff in my arsenal, and it's a really important product for me. One other thing is I've got a microfiber feet in the house there. The missus, she's cottoned on that I've got all this good microfiber now. So what I said to her is, look, you can take any of the microfiber, but just don't touch the really good stuff in the yellow drawer. So of course she always goes for the old Costco microfiber, and she thinks she's getting one over on me when she nicks one of my Costco's, but she doesn't know she's actually taken the the cheaper stuff, so I win, and that's always the most important thing. All right, guys, thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you shortly on the Forensics Detailing channel.